Hey folks, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of From the Canopy Film Show. And I'm joined as always with my co-host Cornelius, aka for Corny, man. How you doing?
What up, Corey? How you doing today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. I see you got to change the scenery.
Just a different spot in my room. But we're going to be reviewing movies for you today, folks. And we got a few on the list. I went to the theater, got a double feature in, plus another one that I saw streaming on YouTube. And I think one other flicks that we got here, not YouTube, but Hulu. Another one of the flicks we got here is available on Netflix as well. But let's get into it because we got a lot of films today. So I'm going to start with this documentary on Netflix called AKA Charlie Sheen. And after 7 years sober, Charlie Sheen candidly discusses his rise to fame and public downfall, joined by family and friends who share untold stories of his journey through stardom, struggles, and redemption. And what you think about this, Cornelius? Because I haven't seen it.
Really enjoyed the doc. Get a bit of a behind the scenes of Charlie Sheen's like life growing up, but we had some behind the scenes from like John Cryer, Sean Penn, who's going to talk about in a little bit. Grew up with Charlie, so we kind of heard some stuff from him. The brother Raymond Estevez, Chris Tucker, Denise Richards. It was like I think Heidi Fleiss shows up at a point in it. Chuck Lorre shows up. That's the producer that he kind of had a falling out with on Two and a Half Men. But like I said, overall, I had a lot of fun watching this. It kind of gets deep into his like drug addiction and stuff like that. You know, his frame of mind on this, but it's just kind of a wild, interesting story. And he does bring up like his first time meeting Nicolas Cage, where they were on an airplane, and Nicolas Cage, all them high and everything. Nicolas Cage takes the mic of the airplane and acts a fool on that. So I think TSA shows up at the end of that situation. But I remember hearing about that when I was a kid, and I just, just getting a little bit of behind the scenes of what was going on that day was kind of interesting. It was somewhat of a fun watch because he kind of has a bit of a sense of humor about some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
All right, and that's available on Netflix now if you
Netflix on
want to
that.
check it
And
out.
that's a two-parter. I want to say it might be a little over 3 hours.
All right. So the next one I'm going to get into is a film called Good Boy, and this one just came out. It got a lot of buzz specifically for this canine performance in here. It is an interesting film, telling a haunted, house story from the perspective of the family pet. And in this story, a man moves into a new home that has supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities start to threaten him, his brave dog comes to the rescue. This is directed by Ben Leonberg, and our main cast here is Indy, and that's the same name as this dog in this film. So that's kind of interesting. We also have Larry Fissenden in this as well as Shane Jensen. For the most part, I do got to give praise to the dog in this film. This is an interesting perspective to shoot a movie from. A lot of times we see the family pets in a film like this, and maybe the dog is growling at a shadow or something like that. But this fully takes that to the next level, where this film is told entirely through this dog's point of view. Even going so far as keeping the angles kind of low at the dog's eye level, and most of the film is experienced, through this dog's point of view. Outside of that, it's kind of sad, man, because this film kind of falls apart after this initial
Set up.
aspect of, wears a little bit thin. You know what I'm saying? So I think what happened with this film, it kind of lost its plot. I think it got caught up in the gimmick of telling the story through this dog. But what follows, and this is a really short film, man. So comes in at 1 hour and 13 minutes, which is strange for theatrical release, man. I feel like they're usually pushing really hard to get
90 minutes.
stuff out. Like, yeah, you might get an 85er in there or 80 on occasion, but this is really short. But what happened with me, they have these haunting sequences and the dog is reacting to them, and it's kind of brilliant. But after the third time that it starts, I started to get like, yo, what is happening here? Because one of the problems with these haunting sequences, they're well done, and this dog is really great in this film, but they are rather confusing. And after a while, it gets really repetitive to the point where we're like these sequences really only serve to give the dog something to react to. There's really not much exposition, you know, as far as to the mystery of why this place is haunted. I think that's one of the main principles of a haunted film. You want to get to why these things are happening. Maybe there's a wrong that happened, you know, in the past or something. And it really got really just tedious in that aspect, and it got repetitive. There's a little bit of, you know, I perked up a little bit because there's some sequences that take place outside of the house, which I thought were some of the better ones. You know, they were still kind of creepy, even though they were happening in broad daylight.
Okay.
Um, but another thing that was weird is they chose to obscure the humans' faces in this film. You know, the dog's owner specifically, we see him all around, but for some reason we can't see his face, or it's
Oh,
always
so they doing like a
obscured.
Charlie Brown type deal. You don't see
Yeah,
the
or it's blurred, and I'm like, what's the point of that? Because the dog could clearly see the owner. If we're looking from the
yeah.
dog's point of view, they're going to see their face, and I think that's kind of a little bit strange, and maybe it's supposed to give us more immersion into the dog's point of view, but in my opinion, it kind of puts some distance between the dog and his owner. You know, that
Yeah.
relationship kind of suffers a little bit because of that. And then there's a scene where one of the neighbors comes up and he's got a full-on ghillie suit on. And then I'm like, okay, so you got him in the ghillie suit just to keep up this gimmick of not showing the humans' faces. It just seems strange, you know.
What's a ghillie
Like
suit?
you know, the sniper suit where they
Oh,
wear
okay,
with
okay,
all the
okay.
leaves and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really strange, man. Even at the end, you know, a character pops up and their face is obscured. I'm like, yo,
Okay.
what is happening? So this thing kind of concludes. I mean, we do figure out something that's going on with the owner, but that still doesn't explain why this place is haunted. I mean, there is a history. Our character is moving into this house after I believe his father owned it, and somehow his father went a little mad. There is some discussion about his other dogs ran away, you know, but this thing just kind of ends, and I'm still just scratching my head like whoa. And another thing too, I think what's crazy about this film being 70 minutes long, I expected a quick man, this film is felt longer than a 2 hour movie.
Really?
You know,
So
like
drug.
that's it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
how it drug. Like I said, after that initial thing wears off, and I think the problem with the haunting sequences is, like I said, they don't add any more context. Like if you see something like Stir of Echoes, every last one of those scenes mattered. Like we're
Yeah.
getting flashbacks, we're peeling back the layers, we're getting
Or something like Presence earlier this year.
yeah, we're getting to the bottom of things, but this didn't do that, man. And I mean, there were some people. It got a lot of buzz coming out of the film festival circuit, but man, I was let down. I was really highly anticipating
Okay.
this, and it's funny because I'm in the theater. There's this dude sitting next to me, you know, the whole movie. So the movie ends. I see him get up first. And he goes and starts going down the steps. Then he turns back around. He's like, "What'd you think of that?" And I was like, the dog was great, but that thing was kind of a mess. He was like, "Yeah, I agree." So I don't know, man. Maybe you'll get some more out of it. Out of it, I think what it's doing now with the marketing is playing up on people's love of dogs, which I think is disingenuous because a lot of people are going to come in for this, and the dog doesn't die. I will say that that's been heavily in the advertising and the marketing because a lot of people are sensitive to these kind of things. So they say the dog doesn't die, but even if you're a lover of dogs, man, I don't know how I still find this going to be a film that's it's going to be hard. It's not going to work on a lot of people, man. It definitely didn't
Okay.
work on me, dude. Like I was kind of let down
I'll
by
tell
it.
you a movie that's kind of put me in the mind of when I was hearing about it. Did you
Hmm.
see Skidamarink?
Yeah. There's
I
a
was
little
like,
bit
how
of
it's in that.
Skinamarink stuff, but I think more stuff happens in this than Skinamarink. But I did still have kind of that empty feeling when I at the end
Okay,
of
okay,
it that I got
okay.
from
That's all.
Skinamarink.
That's
Like,
all. That's all I wanted to know.
no,
That's all I wanted to know. That's
yeah,
how I could kind of judge if I want to go and see it or not.
I
Because I
would
hated
wait, man.
Skidamarink. Yeah.
I would wait because I should have watched Coyotes instead because it came out the same day. So I was kind of like weighing my options, but I'll probably go back this weekend, maybe tomorrow to check out Coyotes. Even though there are different kinds of films, obviously. Yeah, but yeah, I did not like Good Boy.
Okay.
So Let me see. The next one, man, is going to be, I guess, a retro review of sorts. So this film is called Cast a Deadly Spell, and it's directed by Martin Campbell, and in a 1940s Los Angeles from another dimension. Wow, the entire population has supernatural abilities, save for sleuth Harry Philip Lovecraft. The strange but affluent Amos Hacksaw trusts Lovecraft because of his distaste for magic, and he recruits a private eye to track down an ancient text. Harry's seemingly straightforward task becomes complicated when he realizes that the subject of his mission contains curses that Hacksaw hopes to use for world domination. And this is a film starring Fred Ward. We've also got Julianne Moore, David Warner, Clancy Brown, Alexander Powers, and Raymond O'Connor is also in this as well. So what do you think of this?
I really had a lot of fun with this film. This was actually like during October. I pretty much have first time watch of horror films. This is one of those films. It's actually an HBO movie, and for some reason, I had never sat down and watched it. This is directed by Martin Campbell back in the day. Martin Campbell probably made one of the better James Bond, two of the better James Bond films with Casino Royale and GoldenEye. But like I said, I had a lot of fun with this. It was for 1991 and a TV movie. I thought they had some real nice effects. Overall, it was pretty much like a film noir type detective story, but just with magic. And I kind of wish we had a little bit more of this, or like in the TV series or something.
Yeah, so that's cool. I didn't know anything about this. I'm gonna check it out. Sounds a little bit kind of Constantine-ish, and
Yeah, it is, but Fred Ward's character doesn't use magic. Lovecraft doesn't use
mhm,
magic, but everybody else around him does. And
mhm.
you have stuff like gargoyles and zombies and stuff like that running around, gremlins and stuff like that. That's running around that world. So it has some funny parts in it, and it's actually it's an interesting film.
All right, that's what's up,
That
man.
was the
Cast a
first time
Deadly
watching me.
Spell.
Yeah,
Yeah, the show's is streaming on HBO
it
Max.
is.
If you got that now, you can check it out there. All right. So my next one is one that's streaming right now on. I believe this is on Hulu, if I'm correct. Yeah, definitely on Hulu, and it's called Fear Below. And this film, I think it is Australian. It's directed by Matthew Holmes. And in this film, after crashing their van of stolen gold into a river, ruthless gangsters hire desperate divers to retrieve it. But as a relentless bull shark hunts them below, they soon realize the greater threat may be waiting above the surface. And this film stars Hermione Corfield. We've also got Jake Ryan, Jacob Jr., Nightingale, and Josh McConville as well. Yeah, I think those are our main characters. It's a small cast, There's pretty really simple, man, really low budget filmmaking. Um, but like I said, these gangsters have pulled a heist, and during the getaway, their van crashes into a river. And these gangsters they're some bad guys, bro. Like they even killed the getaway driver, man, just to keep, from possibility the location of this van full of gold getting out. So they go around locally and find a diving team and hire them for this job. Don't really tell them what they're going after, but they kind of figure it out as they start, pulling this stuff out. But as I said in the synopsis, there is a bull shark in this water, so that brings the shark element. But and it's crazy because these gangsters are really, really, really bad guys, bro. So that's why it says that the biggest danger may be above the surface. And it is because the bull shark is going to do what a bull shark does, and they've kind of figured out ways to work around him. But it's still dangerous, trying to outwit this animal, this just crazy territory, and apparently crazy hungry, So and at the same time, these gangsters are treating our crew like shit, man, and this is kind of messed up. And they even allude to the fact that when it's done, we're not going to pay him, we're just going to kill him. But
So
I
this set
thought
in the
this was
past also. I'm looking at pictures
yeah,
of it.
that's cool too. That is a cool aspect. It's set in the 40s, so these
Okay.
guys and their diving equipment, I think it's 1947, so
Okay.
it's that period. Stuff kind of like the stuff what's my man De Niro and Cuba Gooding was
The
working
man
with.
of honor. Yeah.
Yeah, Men of Honor, that kind of diving bells and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. And I thought it was cool to have this this period piece um, going on in this as well as the shark stuff. So they're going in, they're pulling the gold out, and this shark is just relentless, man. It's bad, dog. It's really bad, and I was like, this film is really low budget, but it has a lot of heart, man. The performances are solid. No one's going to get any Oscars, but everyone's good enough to get the job done. Even the gangsters, man, they're menacing. It's convincing. And the shark effects are pretty solid too, man. They did a good job, pulling that off in the claustrophobia because it's a river, so it's kind of murky, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because of the sediment is being tossed up, so they got low visibility in front of them, and as well as the shark is in here, so it's kind of interesting to, that heist element in a way, having to deal with nature. You usually see the problem being like human security guards and sentries, but to have a shark being the main concern
Okay.
in this going on around, so it's kind of cool. And these gangsters get just nastier as this draws out and plays out. So not only do they got to outwit the shark, they've got to outwit these gangsters. And this was a really fun watch, man. I think I was about to put it on in the background, earlier just to rerun it back because I had a good time watching it. Like it's pretty well made and solid, for what it is. And one of the better things I've seen this year. This is probably the first film that I watched, horror theme,
Okay.
for this year so far. So that was pretty cool, man, to checking that out. But I highly recommend Fear Below because like shark movies, it's hard to get a good one. They're like you got to watch 30 shark movies to get one that's halfway decent. And this was
Yeah,
pretty.
especially the ones with that attached to tornadoes and such.
Yeah, there's another one on the horizon. I think it might get a theatrical release, and that one looks kind of interesting. It seems to be loosely based on the Indianapolis shark incident back in World War II. Indianapolis delivered the
Oh,
bomb.
one that Quentin talks about in
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
that was a
okay.
real disaster. So I'm trying to think of the name of that shark film, dude, that's coming out. But I don't know if it's directly based on that or if it's a similar thing. But that
Situation.
one looks good. I'll get the name one of these days. I'll send it to you. Maybe once we're done with this. But
Okay.
that one looks really good. But yeah, highly recommend Fear Below. All right, so the next one is going to be Dead of Winter, and this is a action thriller film, and it's directed by Brian Kirk. And in this film, a grief-stricken widow stops by a remote cabin after getting lost on the back roads of Minnesota in the middle of winter. She soon finds herself in a desperate fight for survival as she encounters a murderous couple holding a young woman hostage. And this is interesting, man. On this we have Emma Thompson as an executive producer. She also stars in this as Barb. She's the grief-stricken widow. It also stars Judy Greer, Guy Weiss, Laurel Marsden, Mark Manchaka, Dalton Lieb, Brian F. O'Byrne. So it's a small story, man. But as the setup goes, she's out fishing in Minnesota on this lake. She's taking a trip out there. She says her and her husband used to go there. But on the way there, she gets a little lost, runs into this cabin, and meets this hunter. And he's like, "Yo, do you know where this lake is at?" And he's like, he's looking at her. He sends her the right direction, but she notices like some blood on the ground. And she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm good. That was nothing. That was a deer's blood or whatever." So she ends up going to the lake and she's out there setting up and stuff. And all of a sudden she hears this woman screaming, ducks behind her truck, right in time because shots are being fired. And she sees this guy run up to the woman, pick her up off the ground, take her back. He's kind of like, "Yeah, don't do that again," kind of stuff. So she wants to call the police, but of course there's no cell phone service. And she's like 2 hours from the nearest town, so she decides to go investigate herself and runs into a crazy scenario. So for the most part, man, this thing was really good, dude. Like I was surprised, man. I had heard a little bit of buzz about this film, which made me want to check it out. And I didn't know. I thought it came out this week, but it actually came out, I think, last weekend. So
Okay.
it wasn't a lot of showings. So I felt like I needed to go see this before they pull it. And it was good, man. This thing feels like a chapter from Fargo, man. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing in that same region. They've got the accent, you know what I'm saying? That Minnesota up north accent, the characters. But Emma Thompson is great in this, man. She's just one of these. It kind of reminds me of of Ellen Ripley in a way, maybe just a little
Okay.
older, just older, but that just witty, smart, beating these impossible odds with her wits. I mean, it's not like a mob of evil villains. It's really just two that she's dealing with, and one of them was really bad, played by Judy Greer. So the
Okay.
whole scenario was crazy, man. It does feel like something out of Fargo in the sense that you've got these wacky characters, this really wild scenario and violence, man. Like it's a serious film, man, but it does have some dark humor sprinkled in. I think it is funny with Emma Thompson's her character's resolve in this situation and keeping her wits about her and figuring this out to help this girl that's been kidnapped, so but this was a really fun film, man. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's pretty short. I think it's about an hour 35 minutes, so it goes by really quick, man. There are a few flashbacks. We kind of get to see like her and her husband, they go intercut with what's happening at the present time, of how she met him and how he ended up passing away and stuff like that. But it's a really solid thriller, man. Like I was all in, dude, like immediately, man. Like in the first, just the way that it comes in, and it's cool because it's kind of like Fargo in the sense too. You got these really wide open vistas, and it's just cold. It's dank this time of year. So not only that, man. At times, I feel like the environment is also an enemy, just as dangerous as these kidnappers. That plays a big factor in this. But yeah, it's a cool film, man. I don't know why it just popped up on my radar. I think I just saw a blurb, or maybe it was popping up on Letterboxd a lot, or some ad. I don't know what drew me to it, but I didn't even see the reviews on it. I just see somebody, or just it just looked cool. I think maybe one of those blurbs just caught me, like one of the year's best or something like that, or a surefire thriller, and that I was
Oh,
enough to
okay.
sell me. You
Yeah,
know,
it's not playing at all in my area.
yeah, I feel like this will be out on video soon then,
Yeah.
because like I said, they didn't have a lot of showings when I went. I think there was that one for that day, which because that's why I thought it was coming out Thursday for the first time because it only had one showing and it was
Okay.
like 7 o'clock. And usually when some of the smaller films premiere, they'll have one showing for that Thursday, like they did.
Okay.
But like if it's a Marvel movie, they might have like four showings between three
Started at like
o'clock.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it made me think it's like I thought it had just came out, but and then I looked up further and I was like, oh, this has been out for like a week or two already. But yeah, highly recommend checking that out, man. Definitely get some of that. Dead of Winter. One battle after another. And this was a highly anticipated film, the latest from Paul Thomas Anderson, director. And in this film, Bob is a washed up revolutionary who lives in a state of stoned paranoia, surviving off grid with dispirited and self reliant daughter Willa. When his evil nemesis resurfaces and Willa goes missing, the former radical scrambles to find her as both father and daughter battle the consequences of their past. And this cast is pretty stacked. We got Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall. We've also got Alana Haim. She has a part in this. Wood Harris and Jungle Pussy. It's crazy, man. Also, I like Jack Trout in this too, man. He was pretty cool in this. He has
Yeah.
a small role. But yeah, man. So what you think of this?
Really enjoyed it. I really just had a lot of, kind of fun watching this. A lot of people are complaining about the length of this film, but it kind of shoots by after
I didn't
things
even
get
notice
started.
it, bro.
I didn't notice it at all
Yeah,
either.
I
It's
thought
just,
this was a 2 hour movie, man. By the
yeah,
time I
yeah,
got out and looked up the time, and I
yeah.
think it's weird because it's showing that it's 2 hours and 50 minutes, but it's really not. I think it's about 2:38. Like if you Google it, it's going to show up at like 2:50, but it's really about 2:38 at the time.
Okay.
But man, that blew by fast. I felt like I was in there for an hour and a half, dude. Like to be
But
honest.
and it's just
Like-
and just Paul Thomas Anderson hadn't really missed a beat on it on many of his films at all. He can kind of tell like a dramatic story with which has like a lot of comedy in it, and it just flows well. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this thing was a fun ride for me, man. I had a lot of fun watching this. I think the strongest aspect of it is the performances, and everyone just brings their A game. Leonardo's always good. Tiana Taylor, blew me away because I've seen her in other stuff, but to see her in this, it's like a different level. I think there was a film recently that people were, giving her praise for, but that film was okay to me. Compared to this though, this was like her breakout, especially if she continues to, pursue acting. Also, Sean Penn was just great in this, man. I've seen this dude in like 15 movies in my life, and I've never seen him like this in anything, man. Like this dude completely made up a totally new character. He's high. Like, if I didn't, if this is my first movie,
He almost didn't
you know what I'm
recognize
saying?
when you
Yeah,
first see
almost
him. Yeah,
unrecognizable. I mean, he's older now, so stuff that he's done with his face and hair in this film is unique. But also even the way he moves, man, and
yeah,
just
yeah,
this guy is crazy, man. It's probably one of the best movie villains in the last few years, man. He's just a
yeah.
psychotic, colonel with just crazy ticks and tendencies, and he totally brings that to life, man. In this, man. Shout out to Benicio del Toro. He's great in this as well. He has a real fun turn, man. He's a guy that ends up helping out Leo, and you also find out that he's kind of running his own little underground situation.
Yeah,
Gina.
what did he say? Doing like a hair got type thing.
Yeah, I got my hair tubman type thing going on. And it's funny
Yeah,
because he's his daughter's karate instructor,
yeah,
which,
yeah.
which is wild because you get the sense that they've known each other for years, but they didn't know about each other's.
Background.
Oh
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and it's kind of wild because I think that pays out later. It explains why he ends up helping Bob Ferguson so much once especially when he realizes that it's like you were a bad hombre,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like man, this film, dude, like I really love this thing, man. It definitely was popping. It had a lot of cool stuff. The crazy thing is, some people are talking about, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on in it that kind of reflects what's going on today and just our current politics and stuff. And people don't know this is based on a novel, and he's been trying to get this made for years. So
Okay.
that's more of a testament to things in our country haven't really
It hasn't really
changed.
changed. Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that this movie is still relevant, and I did get a copy of this book, man. I got a copy off of Amazon, so I'm gonna run through it. It's called Vineland. That's
Okay,
the movie
okay.
that's based off of. Because I got curious, I want to see what's in there versus what's in the
What's different?
movie and all this
Okay.
stuff. But yeah, even if the characters are portrayed in the same way, but yeah, man, this thing, like I said, man, I had seen this trailer for a while, and for some reason it was just reminding me of Caught Stealing a bit, and then I finally
Thank God
sat
it did.
down.
Thank God
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
executed like that.
The
Yeah, thank
trailers,
God it
the
wasn't
trailers were
executed.
kind of hitting the same way.
Yeah,
Like
same
I kind
time.
of had
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same kind of editing, and I was like, did they make this movie twice? And then I saw this, man. I was blown away. It was so
yeah.
good to me. I went back the next morning and saw it again, and
Oh,
once
okay.
again, the time went by like nothing, dude.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. I don't know. I think some people do this thing now, the internet, where they try to overanalyze stuff and look for the deeper meaning. And honestly, there is some stuff in here, but I think it's just
You
put
just
in
have to pay
there
attention to it
it's put
because
in
things are
there,
said and
but I think it's put in there to build this world out and
yeah.
flesh out these characters versus really trying to make a grander political statement, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's some cool stuff too, man. There's also this clandestine organization at play in the middle of all this stuff, and you see some of these characters' motivations, especially like I think that's one aspect of it because the synopsis says Willow's past and Bob's past, but it's really about Bob's past and Colonel Lockjaw's past.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
those are the main motivations, and that's why they're butting heads with each other. Because Lockjaw's trying to rectify something that he did in his past, so he could get to the next level. And
Yeah. Yeah.
coincidentally, that's something that also from Bob's past that forces him to have to protect Willow from Lockjaw and all this stuff. So man, this is a great film though for me, man. It's one of my favorites that I watched this year easily.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot Sean Penn kind of reminds me a lot of like Popeye.
Yeah, I was
How
thinking
Robin
that
Williams
too.
was, yeah.
It's because I
How
was like,
Robin Williams was looking like in Popeye, the
I
Popeye
was like,
film.
it would be a great time for him to pull like a live action Popeye sequel
Yeah,
or
yeah.
do a Popeye with him. Like, just put the makeup on because he's gonna give you a walk. But I was definitely thinking Popeye with his face and his
Yeah,
expression.
yeah, yeah.
The way the one thing that got me when he's first going to the meeting with the other guys. And he pulls out his comb and licks it and combs his
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I felt like that had to be improv, man. I like this. It's so crazy, man. Like when you got a guy that good, I think you kind of let him do his thing a little bit and just see how
John
crazy he could
Penn
take it.
hadn't really let us
And
down in the film, though.
yeah,
I'll give him that. You know,
yeah, he takes it there in this man. He's off the chain in this man. Definitely, I definitely see him getting a support nomination. But anything else you want to mention?
no.
Yeah, highly recommend One Battle After Another, man. I'm gonna I might see it again while it's out. I don't know. It sucks sometimes when I do see a good movie and I want to see it again, and I was like, man, I want to see it again without having to go to the dang movies, and I don't want to have to wait like 3 months. Like, give it to me now, inject it in my
Yeah.
veins. But we got some stuff out there. I definitely do want to catch. I got a copy of the Toxic Avenger. So a couple other horror movies I got some screeners for, man. So I'll try to dig through those by the time we get to this next show. And there's some other stuff I want to watch. I did start watching that Ed Gein thing on Netflix, but I cut it
Yeah.
off. I wasn't digging it. It was
Yeah,
just like,
my sister said it was a little too much for her, and I was like, okay.
yeah, especially because I think Ed Gein was a little bit mentally challenged, and they are playing that in this characterization. And I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah, nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's bad enough just reading about the guy. And then the first 6 minutes, they blame it all on his mom, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So like they do with these serial killer things, man. I don't know. It's wild, but yeah. But yeah, we're gonna be in the movies, man. We got some spooky stuff on the way. Definitely gonna check out Coyotes. But yeah, that's it for me, man. Anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, I'm still on the fence. If I want to, because I don't like Jared Leto, but I do like the Tron films.
Tell
So
me how that is,
I'm
man.
on the fence about if I'm going to go and see Tron
You're gonna have to
Ares.
you're gonna have to tell me how that is. It's dude, it's a lot of stuff out this week because also I forgot also the Smashing Machine. That one's out too as well. So
I think that's playing somewhere near me, like
mhm.
right now. But I hadn't. It kind of caught me off guard because I knew it was coming out and I didn't get any kind of advertisement for it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, I'm getting mixed impressions on that. As far as people are saying, The Rock is great in this, but also the film itself can be a little dull at times. So I'm curious to
Okay.
see how it comes out, though. I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah, it's an interesting time, man. I think the we're gonna start seeing the Oscar bait soon coming out. I think that might be the first big Oscar bait release that's clearly to me feels like Oscar bait. This rock movie.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So yeah, I think that's it, man. I'm gonna wrap this thing up, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about us. Also, I would like you guys to use that new hype feature. So if you haven't been paying attention, especially it only works on your YouTube app. But if you go into a video that's been up for the first 7 days, you could do this. So you go down to the comment section, you'll see usually three dots, comment, other things you could do to it. But if there's four, there should be four now. When the film's up the first um 7 days, and you click that fourth section, it's gonna have a button there called hype. So you can spend points to hype up a video from your favorite creators within that first 7 days. What it
Okay.
does now, YouTube has a ranking system now. They have a chart. So it puts the videos in order of how much hype they're getting. You know what I'm saying? So that's a way for fans to help, boost their favorite creators and help get their videos in front of more people. So, and you can hype a video up to 3 times per week. They give you 3 hypes that you can use within a week's period. After a week, it resets and you get 3 more. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So I guess they don't want people to totally abuse it, you know. But you can spread it out or you can use it all on one video. I would encourage you to use it all on one of our videos if you like it. you know. But yeah, other than that, man, we're gonna be back. Check us out on Instagram, Classic Cinematics. We're on TikTok at Classic Cinematics. Also, we get some good feedback and stuff from that 31 Days of Halloween thing that we're doing. So we're doing shorts on 31 different Halloween movies or horror movies. We're gonna put one up per day. So the first few we put up, we got 4 up now because it's been the fourth day. So they're doing pretty good, man. Glad you guys are enjoying that. But boom. And you want to tell the people how to Tell the people how to find you, Cornelius.
Oh, you
What's
hadn't
gonna
done
happen?
yours yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
You okay? I'm
Yeah, I'm
Cornelius Bros.
good.
You can
I'm
find
ready
me
for
on
you to
Facebook, Cornelius
go.
Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, and on I guess TikTok where I'm Cornelius 1976, and I just watch videos there. Do
Mm.
we have a TikTok? Do we
Yeah, I
post
just
them?
said it. Yeah,
Okay.
Class of Cinematics on TikTok. I don't know what
Okay.
the exact word is because when I made it, it did something weird where it broke it up in a funny way. But
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
search Classes of Cinematics, you will easily find Classes of Cinematics on TikTok. So,
Okay.
mhm. Yeah, we out of here, folks. We'll catch y'all next time.